Hello Huntsville is proud to partner with Tony with T-Mill in the Morning. Tony T-Mill on 94.1 WHRP. Tony Terrell. Tony Terrell, your best girlfriend. And T-Mill and T-Mill, a Huntsville native and all-around media expert. 6 to 10 weekday mornings on 94.1 WHRP.
So in your opinion, what makes a great craft cocktail?
So a great craft cocktail really comes from knowing what your ingredients are and having the true balance of your ingredients. You can have the best ingredients and you can have the best team, but being able to also create that story behind the cocktail really truly makes it a craft.
Hello, Huntsville. Hello, Huntsville.
Hello, Huntsville. I'm Cynthia Joyner. Welcome to another edition of this podcast about all things Huntsville.
Jillian, welcome. Thank you for coming today.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, we're so happy to have you. So, to get us started off, just kind of tell us, how did Baker and Able come about? Tell us the background.
So when the 106 Jefferson was beginning, in the very beginning of thought, they wanted to make sure to pay homage to Baker and Able, the first two primates that ever went to space. So in honor of them, we have started, Baker and Able Rooftop Cocktail Lounge, which it kind of pays homage to them, but also is a tip of the hat to the innovation of Huntsville. And these monkeys really went above and beyond, and so we're wanting to go above and beyond here as well.
Right, I was looking around when I walked in. I love the detailing of the monkeys. Mm-hmm. It's great. I love the pictures. So with, Baker and Able is one of the locations on the craft cocktail trail. Mm-hmm. Kind of tell us about how you guys came or got into the craft cocktail trail, if it's, impacted customers. Just kind of share with us a little about that.
So we were asked to be part of the craft cocktail trail, and it's been a tremendous push for this cocktail program up here. We definitely see a lot of business, especially it's just a fun interactive thing that you can do whenever you're downtown. We have obviously the map with the stamp. We even have our own little Baker and Able stamp so they can collect all, oh goodness, how many other stops now? Like 12 or 13? Yeah, so there's quite a few.
Yes.
So it's been very impactful here, quite a few, mostly with people from out of town, really getting to know Huntsville and its ever-growing downtown area. So definitely helps us be a little bit more creative. So each time that they come through, if they're here in October, they're getting a completely different menu than whenever they're here in March.
Right, and so you mentioned people, coming from out of town. So say I was new to Huntsville, or even if I'm from Huntsville but new to Baker and Able, do you have a favorite drink, or is there a local favorite drink that the locals drink here?
So one of our current menu items is actually called Ghost Can Be Gingers too. It was kind of developed in our fall winter menu, and this one in particular is probably a favorite of mine only because it does have a milk clarified vodka that we use, and it's kind of a riff on a little bit of a Moscow Mule, but it's just so refreshing and really shows what creativity that our mixologists up here can put together.
So when did you come to Huntsville?
So I moved to Huntsville, it would have been in July of 2021 to open up this hotel, actually.
Oh, awesome. Well,
yeah.
You're still pretty new, so I guess welcome.
Yeah.
Where did you move from?
So I moved from Gulf Shores.
Okay, awesome. So you're still from Alabama?
Still from Alabama. So I grew up in the Mobile Bay area, Fairhope area, and then moved up here, again, 3 years ago almost,
So was Huntsville a hard sell for you? Was it an easy decision?
It was a fairly easy decision. I will say, the cold weather, being from the beach, does get to me every now and then, but the snow's kind of worn me down a little bit. I really look forward to the seasons now. Being able to see the actual seasons and the leaves change is actually really nice as opposed to down by the beach. So
tell us what it's like to have a business in downtown Huntsville and what that's like.
Well, I will say this, it is definitely always lively down here, and it's great to always be in the middle of everything. Yes. It is such it's so refreshing to see what businesses are alive and how business is booming down here, and just knowing that whenever you leave work at the end of the day, like there could be 5 things going on downtown and you just have to turn the corner and see what's going on.
Right.
Hello, Huntsville. I'm Angela Panzica, and I am the owner of Stella's Elixir Lounge.
Angela, welcome. We're so happy to have you on the episode today. Tell us just how Stella's came about.
Well, I'm a Huntsville transplant. I came up here from Sarasota, Florida, probably about 5 years ago. And at that time, downtown was just really kind of starting to go through its renaissance. I really felt there was a need for an elevated bar scene. And that's basically how I came up with the concept for Stella's. I've always had a passion for design, so this has just been something that I've created and was very proud of. So we've been around now for about 3 years.
Well, it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, the details in this place, if everyone could see, it's just amazing. So Stella's is one of the location or one of the spots on the Craft Cocktail Trail. Tell me a little bit more about really what that trail is.
Well, right actually when Stella's opened 3 years ago, they did the inception for the Craft Cocktail Trail. So when they approached me about it, I was really honored to be part of that. We are cocktail driven, so it was a great fit. We had a featured cocktail a couple years ago called the Elixir from Stella's Elixir Lounge, and that was great. But we have a lot of different cocktails that we try to rotate seasonally, and we want to keep things fresh. And just having the idea of a craft cocktail trail in Huntsville really elevates that, that level for cocktails in downtown.
Okay, so speaking all of the craft cocktails, say someone's new to Huntsville or new to Stella's in particular, what is your favorite cocktail or what do the locals drink here?
The most popular cocktail that we have is our Kate Moss. So that is actually our version of an espresso martini, and that has by far been one of our top sellers all year long.
So the Kate Moss, tell us a little bit more about this drink.
So the drink is named after the model, and the story of how the espresso martini came up is that a model came into a bar and she said, "Wake me up, then mess me up." So we're over 21. You can see the description on the cocktail menu for a little bit more detail. But yes, that's the fun backstory for the Kate Moss, and that's our version of the espresso martini.
Well, we talked about how Stella's came about. Now, tell us just, it doesn't have to be a particular time plan. Where would you like to see Stella's in the future? Or what, goals would you like to see Stella set?
I'm really proud of how Stella's has established itself in the last 3 years, and I definitely feel the market hasn't been saturated. So I really want to see us just continue to bring in more bars and more restaurants in downtown, and I want to make sure that we're always staying relevant. So my goal for the future basically is just to make sure that we're constantly trending and we're on top of our game.
Right.
As we have been.
Right. And I've seen you guys on social media. Y'all are very active on social media, and you're always posting about different events. Tell us about maybe the events that you guys have here, or what might your favorite event be?
Sure. My favorite event, personally, is our signature event that we have every year. It's the Kentucky Derby Watch Party. So everybody gets dressed up in big hats, and we have our mint juleps, and it's a lot of fun. That is probably one of the things that I've noticed kind of started trending in the Huntsville area, and other people have had Derby watch parties since I've started ours, but ours will definitely be the biggest. This year is 150 years for the Kentucky Derby, so we will definitely have some fun this year.
Celebrating big this year.
Yes, we'll go big. Yes, and then we also have our Final Fridays, and that's the last Friday of every month. We do a different theme. Those are a lot of fun. Everybody gets dressed up. We ask for our guests to dress up and participate, and we just have it all decked out with a DJ and dancing, and it's a lot of fun.
Megan,
hey.
Hello, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, thank you.
So just kind of to get us started, tell us just like the inspiration behind La Esquina Cocina.
Sure. So La Esquina Cocina has been open since February 2020, so we're almost on our 4-year anniversary. For the most part, we opened a month before COVID, and we're shut down for a little bit, but my husband's family has been in the Tex-Mex industry, restaurant business for about 30 years. And so we really just felt like it was time to showcase something a little different, a little more authentic, more recipes and ingredients focused from the Jalisco region in Mexico, and kind of show that Mexican food can be elevated and kind of educate on the culture.
Right, so kind of going off of that, you guys are not from Huntsville. What brought you to Huntsville or draw you to Huntsville?
Sure, yeah. So my husband actually is for the most part, from the Guntersville area. I'm from Scottsboro. Fanny and Andres have been in the Huntsville area for about 20 years now, and so it's kind of just where we landed.
I know. So for me and my family, we live closer to Buena Vista, so I know we were talking earlier. Just tell us maybe the similarities or differences between La Esquina Cocina and Buena Vista.
Sure. So Buena Vista, I grew up going there all of the time in Scottsboro, and so it's definitely a family favorite of mine. There's been several throughout Alabama, and it's definitely been a staple in the community. I think a lot of families have grown up going there. The biggest similarity that you're going to see is the small family feel. Like, we're very present, we're here, we're involved, and you get that when you go to Fanny and Junior's Buena Vista as well. So the difference would be, it's not as colorful in here. It's a little more modern, a little more sleek, so that our guests can really focus on the quality of our food, the presentation, and our service.
Right. So looking around, it's absolutely beautiful here. I love the way it's decorated. So you guys are one of the locations on the Craft Cocktail Trail in Huntsville. Tell us how you got involved with that, or how it's benefited your business.
Sure. So we do pride ourselves in serving craft cocktails. Our margaritas are with fresh lime juice. We make our own simple syrup, everything either infused or a fresh puree. And so that itself makes it a craft cocktail. We also have things such as the Oaxacan Old Fashioned, which is a local favorite. It's a twist on the Old Fashioned, but instead of whiskey, it's got mezcal and tequila. When downtown started this, we said, sure, we want to be a part of it. We fit the mold, so it's been fun. It's something encouraging for people from out of town to do, and locals.
Right. So say I am new to the Huntsville area, what drinks would you recommend?
Okay, margaritas are always number one, right? My favorite is the tamarind margarita. It's a seasonal right now, as well as mixed berry. But the spicy margarita is probably our number one seller. Yeah. We also have a really good wine list, and we have suggested pairings on the menu for somebody who's kind of like, I'm not used to having wine at a Mexican restaurant. It'll show what pairs with what. Craft beer, Mexican beer, and brunch cocktails. We're gonna debut Mardi Gras cocktails, Valentine's Day. So
just going from that, is there any maybe special celebrations or things that you guys do, events that you do throughout the year that you could kind of share more with us?
Okay, sure. So Cinco de Mayo is the biggest day for the Mexican restaurant business, but we really pride ourselves too on celebrating Day of the Dead, which is around Halloween and All Souls Day. Right. And then Mexico's Independence Day. So commonly mistaken for Cinco de Mayo, Mexico's Independence Day is in September, a day after the kickoff of National Hispanic Heritage Month. So that's been really fun. We've really dedicated some time on educating and celebrating that moment in September.
Awesome. So are any of those your favorite, or anything that the restaurant does that's created a memorable experience for you? Sure.
Cinco de Mayo is just so much fun. I grew up celebrating that. Day of the Dead has been a lot of fun because everybody comes in costume, and if you've seen the movie Coco, it really kind of resembles that. So our young girls love getting dressed up with that as well. That's fun. We do the altar. People bring pictures of their past loved ones. So that's really special, and it really helps the community engage with us and us with them. So that Day of the Dead is probably my favorite.
Megan, where do you see the restaurant, say, in the next 5 to 10 years?
Sure. So we do have our second location, La Esquina Cocina in Guntersville. It's on Lake Guntersville at City Harbor. That has been open a year as of Labor Day. So we want to continue to see that grow, and there we get a lot of boat traffic and a lot of people from out of town. So that's wonderful to spread the knowledge of what we're serving and our food. We may have some other plans in the works coming up. We don't know that it would be necessarily another La Esquina, but something definitely that provided the same quality service, food, and drinks.
Hello Huntsville is hosted by Cynthia Joyner. Cynthia Joyner and Jeff Morlock are the executive producers. This podcast is produced and directed by Keith Matthews and David Person. Hannah Stutz is Hello Huntsville's chief correspondent. Jake Martin and Hans Guger provided remote and in-studio audio engineering and other technical support. Chad Bell is the production administrator. The podcast theme was written and produced by Kyle Wimbish and David Person. Spread the word about Hello Huntsville, the first podcast that makes Huntsville, Alabama, the star. Hello Huntsville is proud to partner with Tony with T-Mill in the Morning. Tony T-Mill on 94.1 WHRP. Tony Terrell. Tony Terrell, your best girlfriend. And T-Mill, and T-Mill, a Huntsville native and all-around media expert. 6 to 10 weekday mornings on 94.1 WHRP.